everybody, and welcome to another Pilates session. Today we are going to be moving through all of the joints in their big range of movement. We're going to be thinking about our breathing and we're going to be thinking about our spine. So very familiar ideas to you, but we might do a few little sequences that are a little different to stuff we've done before. Go along with as much as you can. If you lose your way, just focus on one thing. It might be the breathing, it might just be the movement, or it might be you thinking about your posture or connecting into your center. All right, so let's make a start. So although we're seated in our chair, we want to make sure we're not slumping and collapsing into the chair. So have your feet flat on the floor and try not to slump back into the chair, but use your abdominals to help you sit up nice and tall. As I'm sitting here, I can feel 10 toes on the floor, from my big toe through to my little toe. I'm not rolling in with my knees and I'm not rolling out. So 10 toes on the floor and the knees are about a fist distance apart. Okay? So I'm using my abdominals to help me sit up tall. I'm not collapsing back into the chair. And I'm going to think about my shoulders being open and my shoulders drawing down the back. Your arms can rest on your legs. If you have the arms on the chair here, try not to use them so that you have to think about your own body supporting your body rather than relying on the back or the arms of the chair. And then lastly, let's think about the head. The head wants to be sitting right on top of the spine. We're not letting the chins tuck forward. We're not wiggling to one side. We're keeping as centered as we can. And one of the most helpful things to do here is to just think that you're lifting your eye gaze a little bit, and that just always helps to set the head right on top of the spine. Okay, so let's start from the feet, go all the way up through the spine and do a little bit of mobility. So if you can, lift your toes up off the floor and then let your toes rest down. Now you can do this in your shoes if you're not in socks or you're in bare feet. Lift your toes up and let them release down, and again lift your toes up and release down. A bit more familiar, we'll lift our heels up and drop our heels down. We'll lift our heels up and then our heels down and then our heels up, and then we've got one leg doing an opposite. So one foot I am toes up and one foot I am heel up, and one foot I am toes up and one foot I am heel up. So we're alternating which foot is doing what. We're going to do 4 more like this. 3 more, 2 more, and 1 more, and then rest that down. Good. Thinking now about the hips, we're going to take the legs closer together and we're going to separate our toes, keeping our heels on the ground. Then we'll lift up our heels and place our heels on the ground. My legs have slightly turned in. I'm going to lift up my toes, pivoting on my heels. I'm going to do 1 more, taking my heels further. And then I'm going to draw my heels in and then my toes in, and then my heels in, and then my toes in, and then squeeze my heels together to come back to my start. We'll do that again, toes out, and then heels out, and then toes out, and then heels out, and then toes out, and then heels, just that last bit, and then heels in, and then toes in, and then heels in, toes in. For me, I've got 1 more heels, and then I squeeze into my toes. Let's go 1 last time. Now this time, can we think about our posture? Trying to sit nice and tall. And although I'm talking about your toes, we're trying to feel that the head of the femur is moving around in that hip socket. That's what starts all of that movement. Okay, let's separate the feet and try and think about the pelvis. Now with our pelvis, there are 2 bones at the bottom of the pelvis on each side, and we're going to just rock back off of those bones, which will bring us into a little rounded back. I haven't quite touched the back of the chair. That's not the aim. The aim is to roll back and then just sit back on those bones. So roll back and then sit back on the bones. So it's as though you were going to roll back into a chair and then you change your mind and you sit up. You roll back and you sit up. And then we might start thinking about pulling our abdominals in as we do this movement. And we're rolling back and we're coming up. So our spine is flexing, we're making a little curve, and then it's coming back to its start position. So we flex, we make a little curve, and then we come back. And this is our low back, not the upper back. That tries to just stay as is. Okay, all right, let's travel up the spine. And now it's the turn of the upper back. So I'm going to move side on. Now, when I'm thinking about moving my upper back, I find it quite helpful to think about bringing my arms together. So my arms are lifted up to just encourage the shape, but you can rest your hands on your legs if you want. Okay, so you've got a nice big shape. You're going to try and take your hands one way and take your back the other way. So I'm trying to stretch the gap between my hands and my upper back, and then I bring that in. So I try and stretch, and I'm trying to round my upper back. Now my low back is moving a little bit as well, but I'm trying to really think about widening out in between my shoulder blades as I do this. So it is not me just straightening my arms, it's me trying to round my back. Good. And we'll try that one more time. That can be a tricky one. And then rest down. Okay, so just staying with forward and back. I'll stay side on because we're going to think about the head next. We're going to draw the chin down, so we're flexing, and then bring it back to our start point. We're going to draw the chin down, so we're flexing, and then come back to my start point. Again, I'm drawing the chin. I'm resetting. I have one to go. Draw the chin, and then reset. So now we've had flexion from the head, the upper back, the low back. So we'll put it all together, which will look like our roll down. I'm going to have my hands on my legs for this, and I'm going to start by sitting tall, and if you can, breathe in here too. As you breathe out, you nod the chin to the chest, you flex your upper back. I'm sliding my hands down. Mine are going to get to about the middle of my shin, and then I'm going to roll my back up. So I'm restacking the little vertebrae in my back until my head comes up last. We'll do that again. Now we have 7 vertebrae in our neck spine. We have 12 vertebrae in our upper back spine. And we have 5 vertebrae in our low back spine, which means that we have got the potential of getting 24 individual little bits of movement. So in your mind, you're trying to think of those 24 little building blocks of the spine coming forward and coming back. Now, very few of us can really feel that 24 individual movements, but the more you can take your brain and think about the body moving like that, take your brain into that movement, the more the movement will come. If we think it's okay for our back just to maybe bend in 2 shapes, we'll only ever bend in 2 shapes. But if we can think that we have that potential of so many more little vertebrae, that will eventually start to come. Okay, so that's been a lot of forward movement. Now we're going to start doing a little bit of rotation through the spine, okay? I'm going to bring my arms in front of me in this sort of genie shape, and I've got a sort of square of air. There's a square of air here in between my 2 elbows and my forearms. And we want to keep our square of air as we turn one way. And we come back to the center and we turn the other way. Now, the reason I've highlighted that square of air so that you don't look like that. That's all arms, and I've lost my square of air. In terms of my algebra, that would look like a parallelogram of air. And we want to keep that nice square of air as we twist one side and as we twist the other side. And sometimes it helps you think about breathing out as you twist one way, breathing out as you twist the other way. Let's give the arms a shake, cross them over again, and let's add a little pulse in now. So I'm going to twist and go a bit more and come to the middle. I'm going to twist and go a bit more and come to the middle. I'm going to twist and go a bit more and come to the center. And I'm going to twist and go a bit more and come to the center. 3 more times. Twist, a little bit more, come center. Twist, a little bit more, come center. I like, we're going to do it twice more so we are even. So we are going to twist, go a bit more, come center and release. Good. Big shoulder circle all the way round. Now we're going to try and do our roll down, but instead of coming through the middle like we've already done, I'm going to add in a little twist. So I'm going to put both of my hands on the same leg. I'm actually going to be reaching my hands down the outside of my leg to get a little bit of rotation through my spine and a bit of a stretch through the back. If that's not for you, stay centered. But if you can, both hands on the outside of your leg, start tall And then we do chin to chest like we've already done. And you're going to reach your hands down to the outside ankle. And that's where your gaze is going to go. So that's your twist. And then gently bring yourself all the way up, and we'll stay on the same side. Draw the chin to the chest, round the spine, and reach your fingertips to your ankle. And then come all the way back and up. And we'll go one more time. Chin to chest, round the body, reaching to your ankle. Come all the way back to center, sit up tall, and swap over. Now, I've also swapped which hand was on top of the other, and I didn't tell you that, so you might have forgotten which hand was on top of the other. Usually, you'll just naturally put one hand on top of the other. So if you have a natural way of doing it, do it the other way. Just keep the brain thinking. So we're going to be reaching to the outside of our ankle. Here we go, sit tall. As you breathe out, reach down the outside of the leg to the ankle. And then roll yourself all the way back, and there you are, nice and tall. Reaching down, sliding your hands along the outside of the leg to the ankle, and then all the way back up we come, nice and tall. Let's go again, reaching all the way down to the ankle, coming all the way up nice and tall, and then we'll rest. Okay, so we've done a lot of movement through the spine. We've thought about the hips. Now it's our turn to think about the arms and the upper body. So let's just start by giving our fingers a little bit of a wiggle, just kind of rolling through the fingers like you were kind of playing the piano. And then I'm always leading this from my little finger, I've just noticed. So now I'm going to try and lead from my second finger, and you may have noticed that is considerably more difficult for me to go the other way. Good, just try a couple more of those. Lovely, and then scrunch your hands into a little fist and spread your fingers super wide. Scrunch your hands into a little fist and spread your fingers super wide. Let's do that 2 more. And we'll do that 1 more. Good, and then bring your hands together, interlacing your hands if you can, otherwise just a clasp together. And we're going to roll those wrist joints. Now, wrist joints can often be quite a clicky joint, so just do what you can. Now, although we are rolling our wrist joint does pretty much just go forward and back. It doesn't have a lot of side-to-side movement sometimes, but just do the best that you can, rolling around as much as you can. And you often feel this quite a lot through your forearms, up into the upper arms. Okay, let's do that 1 more time. And then let's just rest there. So my hands will rest on my legs, and I'll take my attention to my shoulders. Today I'm going to draw some little shoulder diamonds. The bottom of my diamond is right now. I'm going to pull my shoulders down. Then I'm going to lift a bit forward and up to the one corner of my diamond, up in the middle at the top for the top corner of my diamond, back behind me and a little bit down for the back of my diamond, and then right down low. So those are our 4 points. Forwards and a little bit up high and center, back and middle, and then down low. So we go forward in that kind of mid-range, up to the top as high as we can, back in our mid-range, and then nice and low down. 1 more time. We go forward and a little up. We go high with our shoulders coming towards our ears. We're going back and lowering a little, and then right down. Excellent. Okay. Now, one at a time, we're going to go up to the high point and down. Up to the high point and down, up to the high point and down, up to the high point. Now let's keep something moving. Up and then up, and then up, and then up. And let's do that 4 more times on each side, 3 more times on each side, 2 more times, 1 more time, and then rest. Okay, nice bit of mobilization through the shoulders. Often do feel a bit tired when they've done that. Always worth doing it though, always worth moving those joints. Okay, let's do a little bit of a combination stuff and lift legs off the floor. So we now have to think about abdominals. So the abdominals want to support your back. So when your leg lifts, we don't slump back. We try and really pull the belly in. If you can't lift your whole leg, just do the heel, okay? We're going to do a march, and we're going to bring an opposite arm up. We're going to do 8. Here we go. Coming up for 8 and up for 7. Good. Sit tall. Up for 6. And up for 5, up for 4, up for 3, up for 2, up for 1, rest. Now we're going to do a little repeater. So we're going to go up the other side. Okay, sit tall, here we go. We go up, same side, go up again. Lovely, other side, up, sit tall, up again. Lovely, up, sit tall, up again. And up, sit tall, up again. Let's do one more on each side. Up, sit tall, up again. Up, sit tall, up again, and pause. Okay, so that's just nice and centered. But as we've already done today, we're going to add in a little twist. So when I twist, I'm going to be reaching my hands to the outside of my leg, just like we did with our roll down to help us with our direction. We're going to alternate first and then do repeaters. Let's glue our hands together so they're moving as one unit and we don't need to worry about where they're going. Keep them together, outside of the leg, and we lift. Swap them over and we lift. Good. Don't forget to twist your shoulders so it's not just your arms, it's the whole frame of your body. 4 more times. Twist 3 more times. Twist 2 more times. Twist 1 more time. And then a little pause. Here come those repeaters. Double lift on each side. Hands on the leg and off we go. Lift it up. Lift it up. Good. Swap your hands. Lift it up. Lift it up, good. Swap your hands, lift it up, swap your hands, lift it up, and rest. Now, we're nearly there, but we probably have favoured one hand. So we're going to swap hands, and we're going to do a slightly different combination. So, we have one lift twisted, then my hand's going to slide on the leg, and I'm in the centre. Other leg in the centre, finishing up with a twist. So we have a set of 4. So the body is going to be sweeping one way and then sweeping the other way. We'll start facing that way, opposite hand on the top, tummy strong, sit tall, and here we go. Lifting one, hand on the leg with center, lift the same leg again. Swap your hands, lift the other leg, twist and lift and twist. Back to the start, here we go again. So we twist for the first lift, we're centered for the second lift. We swap legs for the third lift. We twist and lift for the fourth lift. 2 more sets, back to the start. Good strong twist through the shoulders, twist. Center, lift. Swap over, lift. Rotate and lift. One last time, we are nearly there. Twist and lift. In the center and lift. Swap your hands and a lift. Twist and a lift and rest. That gets tiring. For the brain as well as for the legs. So right in here in the hip flexors, they have to work really hard to lift your legs up. It's a great muscle to work because you want to be able to lift your legs high to keep your feet, pick up your feet. So it's a great muscle to work, but it can get really tiring and it can get really tight. But sometimes it's just nice to give that hip joint a little bit of a rub. Right in the front of that hip crease, there is a little tiny cord. That's called your hip flexor. And that just can benefit from a little bit of a massage. Or even if you have a wheat bag or a hot water bottle, sometimes just putting that into that hip crease can be quite nice, particularly if you're lying in bed and you're lying down when that joint is a bit more open. That can be quite nice too. Okay, let's stretch out through the calves and the lower legs now, the back of the thighs. So lengthen one leg forwards and you're going to draw your toes towards you. As you draw your toes towards you, those hands, one on top of the other, are going to reach down, down, down to your toes. Relax the shoulders as you lengthen forward and take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. Again, take a deep breath in and a deep breath out, and then slowly roll yourself up. Okay, other leg out. Hands on the other leg. Can you swap your top hand? Draw your toes back towards you and reach all the way down. Relax the shoulders, feel long with your back. Breathe in and breathe out. Again, breathe in and breathe out. And then let's bring you all the way back on up. Lovely. Let's take the fingertips on the shoulders and circle through the elbows. Now, as you circle those elbows up and back, you could maybe lift your chest a little bit. So we're getting a nice little bit of upper back movement. Like we had right at the start of class where we were rounding our back. Now we're trying to open our back out the other way. So if I imagine that I had a beam of light in my breastbone, as I circle my shoulders back, the beam of light points up a few inches and then it comes back down. So it's just having a little lift up. Good, let's do that again. It's extension through the spine. One last time. And done. Excellent. Excellent. Give those hands a little wiggle. Wiggle your fingers. Roll your shoulders. Have a little shimmy. And that's us done. So thank you for joining me. Lots of movements, a little bit familiar, and then a few extra different things for today. So have a lovely time doing this class, and I'll see you again soon.